All right, let's jump right in. Everything we're going to talk about today comes from the incredible work of Dr. Michael Lukens, a clinical psychologist who's been doing this for over 30 years. It's all from his book, The Physics of Emotioning, where he lays out this amazing framework for understanding how we make choices, and especially how we make the powerful choice to love. You know the story, right? We've all heard it a million times. Love is this magical thing that just happens. It's a spark. It's chemistry. You either feel it or you don't. You just fall into it. But what if that whole story isn't just a little off, but is actually holding us back from our greatest power? What if the way we talk about love so casually is actually a kind of contempt for what the word truly means? Because think about it. If love isn't something that just happens to us, but is something we actively choose to do every single day, well, that changes everything, doesn't it? So this is really the heart of it. On one hand, you have the common view. Love is a passive feeling, it comes and goes. But in this new framework, love is an action. It's a choice, a practice. It's something you build, like a muscle. It's not an accident, it's a commitment. To make this idea really practical, Dr. Lukens gives us a new name for it. He calls it Committed Benevolent Interest, or CBI for short. And this isn't some fluffy, romantic notion. It is a fundamental stance you choose to take. It's not a feeling you sit around and wait for. It's a decision to actively work for the well-being of someone else. And CBI stands on these three essential pillars. First, it has to be committed. That means a steady dedication, especially when things get tough. Second, it's benevolent. This is real kindness in action, wanting the best for them. And third, interest. You have to stay curious about who they are, always wanting to learn more. If you're missing even one of these, it's something, but it's not CBI. Now here's where it gets really profound. Practicing this isn't just about being good to other people. Dr. Lukens argues that every single time you choose CBI, you are literally forging your own conscience. You're strengthening your own moral compass, building your better self with every single choice. So to really understand this idea of love as a choice, it helps to look at the other side of the coin, which brings up a really important question. What's the true opposite of love? Now, I know what you're thinking. It's hate, right? That's the obvious answer. But in this framework, hate is still a powerful connection. It's passionate. The real opposite is something much colder, much more destructive. The true opposite of love is contempt. It's that cold, dismissive feeling of being against another person. It's a complete rejection of them, and it just silently poisons our ability to connect with anyone. And contempt doesn't just appear out of thin air. It's a conscious decision we make to devalue someone. But here's the real twist. It's not really about them. It grows from our own unhealed wounds. It's a defense mechanism we put up to avoid feeling our own pain. You can think of this as a battle happening inside our own heads. On one side, you've got our evolved limbic system. That's our cooperative self, the source of empathy and CBI. It lives in a win-win world. But on the other side, you've got the primitive lizard brain. That's our me-first survival instinct that only sees a win-lose world. And this quote from Dr. Lukens just says it all perfectly. The lizard brain lives in a win-lose world. For it to win, somebody else has to lose. But love, CBI, completely flips the script. All of a sudden, your win is my win. It's a total shift from competition to collaboration. So how does contempt hijack our system? Well, it's a three-step process. First, there's a trigger. We feel a pain that we decide we just can't tolerate. Second, that decision opens a door for contempt to invade. And third, it's a takeover. Contempt just shoves our ability to love out of the way, and that me-first instinct takes the wheel. But here is the most empowering part of this whole thing. This isn't just happening to you. Imagine a spectrum. On one end, you have love, being actively for someone. On the other end, you have contempt, being actively against them. Most of us are somewhere in the middle. But every thought, every action is a choice that moves you one way or the other. And this all builds to one final, huge shift in how we see the world. It all comes down to this one choice. What's your goal? Is it to be the most loved person in the room or to be the most loving? These two goals come from completely different mindsets. Wanting to be the most loved is a scarcity mindset. It sees love like a pie with only so many slices, and you have to compete for your piece. But wanting to be the most loving, that's an abundance mindset. It says that you are the generator of love. The supply is literally infinite because it comes from what you choose to give. And that brings us to the ultimate takeaway. As Dr. Lukens puts it so beautifully, the deep fulfillment we're all searching for, it isn't found in getting love, but in the act of giving it. The prize isn't being loved, the prize is getting to be the one who loves. So this isn't about some huge, traumatic gesture. It's built on a million tiny choices. Which leaves us with one last question to take with you. What is one tiny act of committed, benevolent interest you can contribute today, without expecting anything at all in return?